Hello students, I am teacher Svetlana and in our today's lecture we will see about the role of microbes in industrial production and microbes in sewage treatment, which is covered in the chapter Enhancement of Food Production. So let's begin. Students, let us understand the role of microbes in industrial production. Now, during fermentations, variety of products like alcoholic beverages, organic acids, vitamins, growth hormones, enzyme, antibiotics, etc. are produced, and production on an industrial scale requires growing microbes in very large vessels, which are called as fermenters. The main function of a fermenter is to provide a controlled environment for growth of microorganisms or a defined mixture of microorganisms to obtain desired products. So we will see each of these different types of productions that are carried out. So the first one that we are looking at is the production of alcoholic beverages. Beverage is a liquid used or prepared for drinking. Example, tea, coffee, beer, wine, which act as stimulants. Alcoholic beverages are the products of alcoholic fermentation of specific substrates. Use of microbes in making alcoholic beverages is known since Vedic period, that is, it dates back to 5000 to 7000 BC. Microbes, especially yeast, have been used from time immemorial for the productions of beverages like wine, beer, whiskey, brandy, or rum. For this purpose, the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae var Epilosodes, which is commonly called as brewer's yeast, is used for fermenting malted cereals and fruit juices to produce ethanol. Among the beverages, wine and beer are produced without distillation, whereas whiskey, brandy, and rum are distilled beverages. Tubular tower fermenters is used for large-scale productions of alcohol. Have a look at this image here. This is called as a tubular tower fermenter, where the raw materials for the production of beverages are added, and then the yeast mixture is added, and you have an outlet from where the alcohol is collected. Then students, the next use of microbes is for the production of organic acids. Microbes are also used for commercial and industrial production of certain organic acids. These compounds can be produced directly from glucose, example gluconic acid, or formed as end products from pyruvate or ethanol. Here are a few examples of the organic acids and the microbes that are used for its production. For example, citric acid production, the microbe used is Aspergillus niger. Then you have gluconic acid, again Aspergillus niger is used for it. Fumaric acid, Rhizopus eharsis is used. Acetic acid, which is vinegar, the microbe uses Acetobacter aceti. The organic acids are further used variously for different purposes. For example, is used in confectionery, fumaric acid in resins as wetting agents, and gluconic acid in medicines for solubility of calcium. Students, the citric acid that is used in confectioneries has the purpose of adding a very citric flavor, that is the sour flavor that we have to our beverages. Then students, microbes are also used for the production of vitamins. Vitamins are organic nitrogenous compounds which are capable of performing many life-sustaining functions inside our body. Now, these compounds cannot be synthesized by humans except vitamin D, and therefore they have to be supplied in small amounts in the diet. Microbes are capable of synthesizing the vitamins, and hence they can be successfully used for commercial productions of many of these vitamins. To name a few, we have thiamine, riboflavin, pyridoxine, folic acid, pantothenic acid, biotin, vitamin B12, ascorbic acid, beta-carotene, which is also called as provitamin A, and you also have ergosterol, which is provitamin D. Vitamins are manufactured by fermentation using different microbial sources, which are mentioned here below. This is the process of industrial production of vitamins. The source for vitamin B2 is Neurospora gossypi, Armamenticium ashebi. Then for vitamin B12, you have Pseudomonas denitrificans, and for vitamin C, it's Aspergillus niger. Then microbes, students, are also used for the production of antibiotics. Antibiotics are probably the most important group of compounds synthesized by industrial microorganisms. Here is a brief overview of how the production of antibiotics takes place. Most antibiotics are secondary metabolites. They have therapeutic importance and are used in medical treatment. These are produced in small amounts by certain microbes like bacteria, fungi, and few algae, which inhibits growth of other microbes or microbial pathogens. Therefore, they are used in medicines. The antibiotics are antibacterial, antifungal, etc. Antibiotics have greatly improved our capacity to treat deadly diseases such as plague, whooping cough, diphtheria, leprosy, etc. Your textbook has a list of the antibiotics produced and the microbial source. You can go through the list there. Then students, microbes are also used for the production of enzymes. In living beings, enzymes play a key role in metabolic reactions, and therefore they are essential for the survival of such beings. Enzymes are proteins known as biocatalysts. Due to their ability to promote reaction more quickly at body temperatures and more efficiently, many of these microbes synthesize and excrete large quantities of enzyme in their surrounding medium. Using these features of these tiny organisms, many enzymes are produced commercially. These enzymes are amylase, cellulase, protease, lipase, pectinase, streptokinase, and many others. Here is a list of the names of the enzymes and their microbial sources. For example, we have invertase, Saccharomyces cerevisiae. You can pause the video and have a look at the list here. Students, these enzymes have a lot of industrial applications. Several industrial sectors use these enzymes from microorganisms for specific applications. For example, in the textile industry, enzymes are able to improve the quality of the fabric. In the pulp and paper industries, they are involved in biomechanical pulping and bleaching. In food industries, they are used in the fermentation processes for production of bread and drinks such as wine and beer. They also participate in extractions of substances such as carotenoids and olive oil. Lipases are used in detergent industries because they have superior cleaning properties. They increase the brightness and remove oil and stains. In cosmetic industries, they also have a use in animal feed and agricultural industry. Students, yet another role of microbes is in the production of gibberellins. We are all aware that it is a plant growth hormone. Gibberellin is a group of growth hormones mainly produced by higher plants and fungi to promote growth by stem elongation. The first gibberellin was isolated by two Japanese scientists, Yabuta and Samuki, in 1938 from rice seedlings infected with the fungus Gibberella fugicori. About 15 different types of gibberellins have been isolated. Gibberellins have many practical applications. So we are already aware that gibberellins are used to induce parthenocarpy in apple, pear. They are used in breaking the dominancy of seed and also induce flowering in long day plants. They are also used to enlarge the size of grapefruits. So microbes are used in the productions of this growth hormone. Now students, another important place where microbes are used is the sewage treatment. Sewage is a matter carried off in drainage. It is municipal waste containing human excreta, household waste, dissolved organic matter, and even pathogenic microorganisms like bacteria, viruses, protozoans, nematodes, and microfungi. It also includes discharged water from hospital waste, slaughterhouse waste, animal dung, etc. Discharge from the industrial waste, which mainly consists of dissolved organic and inorganic chemicals like the tannery, pharmaceutical waste. This all adds to our sewage. So, one important factor about the sewages is the composition of sewage. Sewage consists of approximately 99.5% to 99.9% water and 0.1 to 0.5% inorganic and organic matters in suspended and soluble form. Composition of sewage varies depending upon the type of the waste discharged into the water from different industries. These include the textile, chemical, pharmaceuticals, dairy, cannery, breweries, meat packing, tannery, oil refineries, and meat industries. So here it shows a pie chart where the different contents in the sewage are splitted up to get an idea of the composition of the sewage. Students, various types of microorganisms are also present in this sewage. Like I said earlier, we have bacteria, viruses, fungi, protozoa, nematodes, algae, etc. However, the number and type fluctuates depending upon the sewage composition and the source of your sewage. Raw sewage may contain millions of bacteria per ml. They include coliform, fecal streptococci, anaerobic spore-forming bacilli, and other types originating in the intestinal tracts of humans. Before wastewater is made available for human use, it has to be treated properly so as to remove the organic matter, inorganic salts, and pathogens as well. So the sewage treatment process includes 4 basic steps. The first step is called as the preliminary treatment. So here I have put up the diagrammatic representation of the various stages in your wastewater treatment. So let us have a look at the first step, the preliminary treatment. This includes screening and grid setting. In screening, the sewage and the wastewater containing plenty of suspended floating materials, porous and solid particles are all removed by the process of filtration. This is done in the screening chamber. The sewage is passed through screens or nets in the chamber. Large suspended and floating objects are held back by the screening chambers. They have to be removed before the biological process begins. Then you have the grid settings or the grid chamber. After screening, the filtered sewage is then passed into series of grid chambers. These chambers contain large stones in which the porous particles settle down due to gravity. Thus, passage of the filtered sewage removes much of the porous particulate matter. Then we move next to the primary treatment. This is basically physical treatment where you have removal of the suspended solid particles which occur in the sedimentation tanks, and then after most of the particles has settled in the sewage, it moves further to the secondary treatment, which is called as the biological treatment. It includes treatment of the sewage in the aeration tanks, and then it proceeds further to the tertiary treatment. It involves passage of the sewage water through settling tanks and to your anaerobic sludge digesters. So after it has passed on through these stages of treatment, then the effluents from the plant digesters after chlorination are released in natural water bodies like rivers and streams. Chlorination kills the pathogenic bacteria and the digested sludge is then disposed. Thank you, students, for participating in this lecture. See you soon again with the next topic. Till then, take care, be safe, and keep learning.